Alright, so hey there Cosmic Warriors and welcome back to my Zodiac Signs as Students series. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Pisces student as I describe 3 different skill subjects that I personally think can be associated with the sign of Pisces. Now I would say here that this video can resonate for you if you have any of your personal planets within the sign of Pisces, but this video is mostly directed towards those of you who have your Mercury in Pisces or you have the sign of Pisces ruling your 3rd house. And I would also like to further mention here that even if you're not a student, even if you're not at school anymore, then I still recommend watching this video because you may find that a lot of what I'm about to say today can strongly resonate due to these things being associated within your everyday life. Now before we do get started, however, if you would like to know more information all about Gemini through the houses, as well as the Mercury signs and the Mercury houses, as well as the 3rd house within astrology, then I have created a Gemini season/Gemini archetype ebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today. Yes, it is always a mouthful whenever I do these introductions. But anyway, Mercury in Pisces, Pisces ruling the 3rd house. Let's do this. Okay Pisces, so the first subject I chose here is film, but then also photography, because you are the sign that rules over all things mystical and make-believe. Now I decided to combine film and photography into one, even though you could study them separately, and you could also study these subjects at university as well, by which if you have the sign of Pisces ruling your 9th house, then you might find that this can also resonate for you too. But it is these fields, these types of studies that will certainly get you into your creative flow whilst you bring that vivid imagination of yours to the table, Pisces. And especially given in today's society where we have things such as YouTube and Instagram, well, there is a huge market for photography, encouraging others to showcase their creations. You might enjoy editing and retouching your images. You might enjoy choosing and setting up locations for different shoots. And you also might enjoy the beauty that you're able to find within your daily interactions with others through the likes of photography as well. And when it does come to film, well, you might like the connections that you form with different fictional characters, whilst also creating films that are based on non-fictional people and events. And it's all of these things that can really encourage you to expand your possibilities as a filmmaker, as well as your knowledge upon film too. Because it could be suggested here that what you haven't seen just might be more important than what you have seen. These areas of study are largely also based upon perception here, meaning that your audience will have their own perceptions of how they view the work that you create, and your own perceptions might also change over time as well, especially based on how you're feeling or on new information that you learn along the way. You are a mutable sign after all, Pisces, and so therefore you are adaptable and you are adjustable. And better still, if your audience do walk away feeling a bit confused or a bit like, oh my gosh, that was so profound with the ending, maybe they've got loads of questions in their mind over the ending of what you just made or what you just showcased your audience, well, then perhaps you struck a chord with the audience from this happening, meaning that it's through this study of film that can actually leave other people really inquisitive and curious about, what was the message betrayed? What was the symbolism found within that movie or behind that creation that Pisces made? And you are a sign all about confusion and dreaminess, Pisces. You are also known for being a highly creative sign, and it's these creative subjects that can certainly tap into your wildest fantasies and dreams, Pisces, and bring them up onto the surface, whilst also at the same time diving beneath the surface and into the fantasies and dreams of your audience. And in terms of communication, well, being a filmmaker or a photographer would require you to build a good relationship with your clients or employers. So being able to communicate with people and discuss their interests and their backgrounds, where you seek to understand your clients' wants, needs and concerns, as well as being able to address and resolve any concerns that they might have. By you having the ability, Pisces, to communicate clearly and understand people, this can in turn make you an empathetic communicator, where you are able to understand the clients or other people or your audience's vision, whilst also sharing your own creative and imaginative vision as well. Ultimately, Pisces, it's the likes of studying film and photography that your mindset that is rather rhythmic and fluid, that will come into question here, will come into play, where you're able to dissolve boundaries time and time again. Some things to learn here though, well, there is a tendency of you sacrificing the real world for the fantasy world, Pisces, meaning that you might connect so much more deeply with your own imagination over what is actually happening in front of you, or over what is going on outside within the real world, within your everyday interactions with others. See, you could be standing having a conversation with someone, but instead of taking what that person is saying as solid or as concrete, you might escape into your own mind, forming all sorts of ideas and images, coming up with all these stories as you seek deeper meaning behind or underneath what that person is saying. And whilst these ideas seem to be so real to you, you might also start to form a false perception in your own mind over what is happening. Therefore, as you go on to communicate with the other person, it might seem a bit muddled or a bit wobbly or jaded slightly. Then again, it could also come out as rather poetic and also wisdomful, because your interpretation of how you view things can also be very highly enlightening to others. However, I think that the implications can arise whenever you have this perfect ideal in your mind that is blocking you from seeing the wider vision, from seeing that bigger picture. So I'm going to give you an example as to how this could sort of play out. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because also I found out this piece of information lately, and I thought you might find this really interesting, Pisces. So recently I discovered a term called, I'm just gonna read this, I may butcher it just so you know, but I'll put a spelling somewhere so you can see. Anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism. There, we'll try 3 times, I probably butchered it every time. So, what this essentially refers to, well, it relates to the idea that an animal, a god, or an object has feelings or characteristics like that of a human being. For example, you take the likes of the clock or the candle or the teapot from Beauty and the Beast. So they have facial expressions, they can smile, they can show emotion, they're dancing, they're singing. So many children then, what they do is they form emotional connections or bonds with these characters. And if you want to make this deeply emotional, to truly tug at your heartstrings, if you can remember the scene from The Lion King whenever Mufasa dies, my gosh, whenever he died, I cried so much, and I'm sure Pisces, you cried as well. Basically, what we do is we form these emotional attachments with these fictional characters that we've never even met before. And so what this may also do subconsciously is, well, growing up, that child's perception of lions could sort of be formed in a way that goes against nature. I mean, if you were to go up to a lion and approach it in nature, it would probably kill you. So many cartoons will show animals talking and acting like humans, but in real life, this is all completely false. So whilst yes, this social emotional connection can provide benefits to humans, well, it can also be rather detrimental. Because as much as we want to place our own ideals onto animals, well, we cannot physically change their biology or the reality of the situation. This right here is basically an example of how the lines can be blurred between fantasy and reality, Pisces. So just keep this in mind when it comes to materializing your dreams within the real world. Meaning that it's about making sure that you form some sort of distinctive barrier between what you are envisioning and what is happening right in front of you. So what's the actual reality of the situation? So the second subject I chose, well, a couple subjects again, which I combined together, is art and dance. So again, I've morphed these subjects into one because you are a highly poetic and free-flowing sign. You are a sign that dives into the unconscious and brings out just images of beauty and wonder, and it's the likes of art, the likes of dance that will tap into your psyche. Through the likes of art here, for example, Pisces, well, a number of visuals, they can be explored and developed. Art will also get you in touch with your feelings as well. For example, you can learn how to create a portrait of a person by putting yourself into that person's shoes as you learn how to understand their perspective. And art is also a subject that will encourage you to evolve as an artist. See, the connection between artists, for example, they can really help encourage you to appreciate your own individuality and your own unique perspective. And so you're able to deepen your understanding. Art can also encourage you to improve and gain confidence as it helps you believe in your own talents and abilities. Maybe, for example, you find it difficult to perform a certain task, but yet it might actually be the approach towards that task that is maybe something to be addressed. Therefore, art can help you seek out new angles and new approaches that work best for you. Furthermore, Pisces, when it comes to dance, well, dance can be used within the real world, and so you can learn many skills through this study as well, such as self-discipline, problem-solving skills, and how to work with a team. This discipline that dance brings can certainly impact many aspects of your life. And this is because dance is a highly athletic subject. It requires a lot of dedication, it requires a lot of time, and you've got to think on your feet and remain flexible as you face different challenges. Plus, it is through the study of dance that you can learn about other things, such as costumes, lighting, makeup, music, and stage settings. Then again, it is also the likes of dance that can simply inspire you day to day. Okay, so for example, dance can encourage you to express yourself. You can find a sense of unity within dance. Dance can provide you with relaxation as you refresh your body and your mind. You can entertain yourself and also others with dance and revitalize yourself. You can feel laughter, you can feel joy, and you can definitely get lost in your flow where you don't even think about it, Pisces. You simply just feel into the groove. Plus, you can also improve on your posture and get some good exercise. Some things to learn here though, Pisces. Well, there is a tendency of you falling into a deep state of self-pity and victimization from time to time. Now, you could use the likes of art and dance as a way to really help you cope with this. After all, Pisces, you are a sign of escapism. However, it might actually be a good idea to identify the times in which you do this as a way to really avoid situations that require your attention, especially if your attention is required now. Let's say, for example, right? You're having financial problems or you're having friendship problems and difficulties. Maybe your parents ask you about these problems, but all you want to do is just lock yourself away, run away and hide. But yet, there may just be adult-like discussions required here. So to really address your actions and also just to address the situation overall. But instead of addressing your actions sometimes and how also other people's actions have impacted you too, you might just pity yourself or break down in an emotional state, completely oblivious as to what to do or where to turn. Therefore, it's really about learning how to strip this back and to get back to basics with yourself. So to admit your faults, but to also call others out on their faults too. And by doing so, you'll be able to learn from what happened, and by having those adult discussions about what happened and then being able to move forward from what happened, therefore you'll be able to release it. And the third and final subject that I chose for you Pisces is philosophy. Now, if you have Pisces ruling your 9th house, then this may also resonate because maybe you studied this at university or college. But I chose this subject as well for Sagittarius because you're both ruled by Jupiter, okay? Jupiter is a philosophical planet, it rules over these types of things. But apparently here as well though, which you may like, well, apparently the term philosophy actually comes from the Greek words meaning love of wisdom. And according to a website that I found, philosophy uses the tools of logic and reason to analyze the ways in which humans experience the world. Therefore, philosophy can encourage you to think critically, to write clearly, and to read closely. Yes, Pisces, when it does come to how you learn or study, you might not be the most focused and you may find it difficult to concentrate, but with a subject like philosophy, you might be exposed to new tools and learning methods. Then again, you might be more interested in how philosophy can combine with spirituality more than anything. For example, you might have a particular philosophy that you live your life based upon, where you teach it on a day-to-day basis, where you preach it, you teach it, you live it. This is your philosophy. Whilst you also meditate or believe in a higher purpose. You just might strongly believe in the likes of karma here, for example. Or you might attend certain spiritual retreats and events as a way to revitalize yourself or clear your mind. Plus, you might also possess the likes of crystals, candles, and different pieces of jewelry, all as items that make you feel more connected with Source. Though still, it is the study of philosophy that will challenge your beliefs and ideas. It will also challenge your morals and your ethics. So what do you deem to be morally acceptable? What do you deem to be ethically correct? Ultimately, studying philosophy will expose you to more levels of meaning, more ideas, and broaden and deepen your perspective of the world. And it's all of these ingredients that are required for the Pisces archetype. Some things to learn here though, Pisces. Well, there is a tendency of you martyring yourself for the sake of others, where you feel like it is your spiritual duty to be all things to all people all the time. You can use your sensitive and caring and sympathetic nature as a way to really console others, especially those who have been shut out from society, such as drunks, such as drug users, people who maybe are looked at as outcasts. Therefore, the self-pity that I mentioned earlier, well, this pity can also extend to others here as well, resulting in you wishing that you could do more for other people. Now, you might not be aware sometimes of how much you actually are doing for other people. Again though, Pisces, let's not trick ourselves into thinking, oh, woe is me, I'm doing so much for other people and not knowing my boundaries. Again, strip it back. Identify the patterns, identify the actions. Just try not to think of yourself as this defenseless, helpless, little innocent fish who has no say in the matter. Naturally, of course, it does depend on the situation and the context, and only you really know and understand your situation, Pisces. But the main point of focus here is I am trying to really get the point across of you coming to terms with your own boundaries and feeling empowered by your boundaries. It's great to help others, and yes, our planet needs more people like you in that regard, but please do not fall into the trap of being some sort of messiah. It's great that you can be compassionate and remorseful, but you are also human with your own thoughts, feelings, and energy levels. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the Pisces student. Now, if you happen to have your Mercury in Pisces or Pisces ruling your third house, then it would be great to hear your thoughts and opinions on today's video, and also to share your experiences as well. So with all that being said then, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click the subscribe button, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!